Good evening, one and all present here. On behalf of the Computer Society of India, Coimbatore chapter, I welcome you all for the fortnightly webinar on computer and information communication technology related domains. Today, the session is about artificial intelligence driven creativity, text to image for real world innovation. So on this topic, we have a speaker cum practitioner who is going to student cum practitioner who is going to share her thoughts and ideas about this topic. Let us get into the session, and for this may I invite our chairman, Mr. R. Saravanakumar, who is a renowned social entrepreneur, visiting professor at PSG College of Technology and former director Cognizant Technology Solutions, to welcome the gathering. Sir.
Thank you, Dr. Maharaj. Iniya Malai Vanakkam. Good evening, everyone. On behalf of the Computer Society of India Coimbatore chapter, it gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to this exciting and insightful webinar on AI-driven creativity, text-to-image for real-world innovation. Artificial intelligence, as all of us know, is rapidly transforming various industries, and the ability to generate stunning visuals from text is truly revolutionizing creative fields like fashion, marketing, and design. Text-to-image generation is not just a technological marvel, but a bridge connecting creativity and computation, opening doors to endless possibilities in fashion, marketing, e-commerce, and beyond. Our speaker for today, Trut Kirti, will guide us through the fascinating journey of how AI translates simple text into visually compelling creations, the evolution of technologies and diffusion models, and the practical applications of AI-generated visuals in shaping the future of creativity. I'm confident that this webinar will inspire you, spark new ideas, and broaden your understanding on how AI continues to revolutionize the way we think about design and innovation. Welcome once again and enjoy the session. Without further ado, let us proceed further. Sit back, engage, and enjoy. Over to our MOC for next steps. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And now it's my privilege to introduce the guest speaker of the day. Our guest speaker is a postgraduate student cum practitioner. She is Trut Kirti, and she is a graduate in commerce. Followed by that, currently she is pursuing her master's in data science from PSG Krishnamal College for Women, and she is in the final year. And as usual, like all other students, she has the strong foundation in the basic programming aspects, and her technical skills are in data analytics, artificial intelligence and machine learning, big data and cloud. And in order to showcase her talents and to improve her skill set, she is continuously engaged as a AI intern at LG Equipments Limited, almost for more than an year. And during her internship, she has done a lot of achievements, starting from being a Scrum Master, facilitating the Agile practices and creating chatbots using GenAI, and then applied prompt engineering techniques to instruct and refine the model's outputs and so on. And then she, as a part of her academic project, she has created a real-time model for text-to-image processing solutions. And as a continuous efforts at LG Equipments, she has also created an end-to-end automated process using web scraping and PDF scraping techniques. And she has built a RAG model using Llama Index, LangChain, and MetaIce tools. And currently, she is involved in a very big project with regard to creating Pandas AI-powered large language models to streamline project management, enabling efficient tracking of project status. And being a data analytics enthusiast, she is also continuously developing Power BI based dashboards for the strategic decision making. And to add further to her cap, she has done a lot of certifications from NPTEL and Coursera with regard to artificial intelligence, database management systems, Python, and other things. And her accomplishments and achievements are school topper in 12th grade, and then best delegate for 2 times. And she is also a qualified person in Institute of Company Secretaries of India's qualifying examination for the basic level. And we are privileged to have such a wonderful student cum practitioner in our midst. And now I welcome our guest speaker for today's session. Thank you. Ms. Shruti.
Everyone. To begin with, I wish to thank Sarvana Kumar sir, Maharasan sir, and all the members of Computer Society of India for guiding me throughout and giving me this platform to share my knowledge. And a big thank you to everyone who has joined today. I truly appreciate your time, and I hope that this session is as insightful for you as it has been for me while preparing for it. So with this, let's get started. So AI is changing the way we create, right? It's not just a tool for automation or data processing anymore. It's now being used to generate images, design fashion, and even help with branding and marketing. So by the end of this session, I hope you'll have a clear idea of how AI-driven creativity works. And
Sorry to interrupt. Could you please enable the video if possible?
So I was asked it won't be needed,
Yes,
so I
no, you
disabled.
can switch on for
Okay,
a couple
fine.
of minutes.
Okay, fine. It's okay. No issues.
Yes, sir.
If
So-
possible, you could enable video. Otherwise, it's okay. Okay, thank you.
Okay. So here's what we will be covering today. We'll start with why AI is becoming such a big part of creative industries and what text-to-image AI actually is. Then we'll look at how this technology has evolved from AI, early AI models to powerful systems like Stable Diffusion. This is where I'll explain how Stable Diffusion works and how it can be fine-tuned for specific industries. We'll then focus on AI's role in fashion design, including the challenges that come with using AI-generated designs. After that, we'll discuss some important ethical considerations, things like bias, copyright issues, and originality in AI-generated art. So to make things more concrete, I'll also share some real-world case studies from companies like Nike, IKEA, and Coca-Cola, showing how they use AI-generated images in their work. And finally, we'll wrap up by looking at where this technology is headed in the future. So let's start with the first topic, why AI is making such a big impact in creative fields. Now, AI is obviously changing how we create images. So it's making things faster, cheaper, and in some cases, even better than traditional methods, whether it's ads, fashion designs, or online shopping. AI helps businesses create high quality visuals without spending too much money or even time, right? So let me give you an example. Imagine a brand wants to launch a new lip gloss. Okay, so normally they would need a photographer, models, lighting, and editing to get a perfect ad, right? But with AI, they can just type in a description, and within seconds, they get a professional looking product image. Like, as you can see here, the model looks so realistic. You can see all the, the skin texture and everything, right? So imagine how cool this is. Next, next we will be looking at So what is, now that we know how why AI creativity is important, let's look into what text-to-image AI is. Now, let's look at a few ways industries use. Okay, so AI transforms textual descriptions into images, right? So when you type in a prompt, it doesn't just know what it has to create. Okay, so every word that you type in is broken into tokens or separate words, and that is fed into the model, and based on that the model generates images. So like humans, the AI doesn't already know what it has to create, so it already has certain words. So if you type in a futuristic city, it knows that futuristic means something, right? And city means something based on the training data that was fed to it, right? So in case of examples provided here, as you can see in this particular logo over here, design a logo for a luxury fashion brand Sponge. So it knows that luxury is related to gold or black fashion, right? So based on what it learns, it generates images. Now evolution of text-to-image AI. All right, so now that we understand what text-to-image AI is, let's take a step back and look at how we got here. Because honestly, if we were having this discussion like 10 years ago, AI-generated images wouldn't even be worth mentioning. So they were, kind of terrible. But things changed, and they changed fast. And in less than a decade, we've gone from strange, distorted AI images to hyper-realistic, breathtaking visuals that look like they were created by professional artists. So, and it all started with one major breakthrough, which is GANs. So in 2014, a researcher named Ian Goodfellow introduced something called GANs, which is short for Generative Adversarial Networks. Now, this was a game changer because before GANs, AI models really struggled to create images that looked convincing, but GANs, they changed that, right? So now imagine you have two models. One is called the generator, and its job is to create fake images, okay? And the other is the discriminator, and its job is to tell whether an image is real or fake. So the generator keeps improving its images to try and fool the discriminator. And over time, it gets so good that the images start looking real. So that's how GANs work. And this was a huge leap forward because GANs made AI-generated images possible in the first place. And they started being used in areas like deepfake videos, the ones that you would have heard of last year, too much in news, right? Images, videos of, the prime minister being added into videos and all that. So that is where GANs were used. And then creating new clothing designs and even helping artists come up with new concepts. But there were some big limitations. Everything cannot be perfect. So GANs did have a few limitations which needed a lot of training data, and they weren't very good at understanding complex prompts. So, the prompts had to be really simple and easy for the model to understand. So that's where things started evolving. Then fast forward to 2021, and OpenAI introduced DALL-E. Now, this was a big moment in AI art because for the first time, an AI could take simple text descriptions and generate an image from it. So you could type something like a futuristic city floating in the clouds, okay, and boom, DALL-E would, generate an image of exactly that. Now, DALL-E was different from GANs because it used a transformer-based model, and because so it used.
Could somebody try to mute him, please? Thank you.
Okay, so DALL-E was different from GANs. As I mentioned, GANs were they mostly created images using discriminator and generator, right? So here, DALL-E used transformer-based models, and instead of just generating random images, it actually understood languages and concepts. So this meant it could create much more accurate and creative images. But the only drawback is that DALL-E was a closed model, meaning only OpenAI could use it and control it. So, you cannot really train DALL-E with your own data sets because their model weights are all private. Okay, they have not been released. So you can just pay for that subscription and generate images. It's not open source. And now DALL-E led to a big shift in the AI world anyways. So around the same time, OpenAI also introduced another model called Glide, okay? And now Glide was important because it used a completely different approach, something called diffusion models, which is what we will be discussing today. And diffusion models work kind of like developing a photograph in reverse, right? So I'll explain this later, but they start with an image that's just pure noise. If you remember in old TVs, you used to, when there was no signal, you used to see those gray and black dots, right? And that gradually, and then this diffusion model would gradually remove the noise until a clear image would appear, right? So this made them much better at generating high quality and detailed images. Now, Glide wasn't as widely known as DALL-E because it was trained on quite less data as compared to DALL-E, okay? But it was actually the foundation for what came next, which is Stable Diffusion. Now, in 2022, everything changed again with the release of Stable Diffusion. And this was a huge deal because unlike DALL-E, Stable Diffusion was open source. So this meant that anyone could download it. You can download the model weights from Stability AI's websites, or Stable Diffusion has its own website, so you can download from there. And you can experiment with it and even train it on your own data. Now, Stable Diffusion is obviously, from the name you can understand, it is based on diffusion models, as is Glide also. So again, it starts with random noise and slowly refines the image based on the given text prompt. But what made Stable Diffusion special was its flexibility. People started fine-tuning it for specific styles, obviously because it's open source, which couldn't happen with other better models like DALL-E, right? So this fine-tuning was used in specific styles like anime, photorealistic portraits, historical paintings, and even medical imaging sometimes. So this completely opened the gates for AI creativity. Now, instead of just a few big companies controlling AI-generated art like OpenAI and Google, for example, thousands of independent artists, developers, and businesses could use it for their own projects just because it was open source. And that's where things really took off. And people started training Stable Diffusion on everything from video game art to branded product ads. You can see Nike images. All the famous brands you can see, you can use their prompts and generate images for that. And this was also used for fashion designs, obviously. And it became one of the most widely used AI image generation tools in the world. Next, we have 2023 and beyond. We got, of course, Stable Diffusion was not the end of it. We saw more advanced models like Google introduced ImageGen, which is again a closed model, and you have to pay for the subscription. So which produces insanely realistic images. So I think it's fair that it's a paid subscription. And Midjourney became one of the most popular AI tools for digital artists. So any companies that you see which use text to image and have the capability of spending a lot of money on research and their creativity needs, they use Midjourney because its results are really very impressive. And Midjourney in particular took off because of its unique creative style. Unlike Stable Diffusion, which people could customize, Midjourney had a more artistic, dreamlike aesthetic, right? So a lot of artists started using it to create fantasy artwork, album covers, and even concept art for movies and video games. Now in 2024 and beyond, after Midjourney and ImageGen, we are seeing AI generate images being used in professional photography, advertising, animation, and even fine art competitions. I'll give you an example of that later on. Now, some people can't even tell the difference between a real photo and an AI-generated one anymore. So in less than 10 years, we went from AI struggling to generate a decent face to AI creating award-winning digital art. And I'll show you an example of that later on. Next, we have how do diffusion models generate images? Stable Diffusion is based on diffusion models. So first, when we give AI a prompt, let's say something like hyper-realistic futuristic city at sunset with flying cars. Now, the AI doesn't just look at this the way we do and immediately know what to draw. Like, you know, when I read that particular prompt, you already imagine something, right? But AI cannot do that. So it has to break the sentence down into smaller pieces, like I told you, which are called tokens. It doesn't see full words, it sees patterns of letters and concepts. So to do this, Stable Diffusion often uses a model called CLIP, which is short for contraceptive language image pre-training. So, and this was developed by OpenAI. So I'm really surprised why this is not, why they have not gate-kept it. So this is very confusing. And CLIP has been trained on millions of images and their descriptions. So it has, you know, learned how certain words relate to specific elements, visual elements. So when we type in our futuristic city prompt, the AI analyzes it something like this. So when you, for this particular word, futuristic city, AI recognizes that, okay, this means something like, you know, modern skyscrapers, neon lights, or maybe even cyberpunk aesthetic or something. And flying cars, you know, it associates with the sci-fi movies or hovering vehicles. It's just trained on those images. So it just knows what it means. And sunset, it understands this is a warm golden glow, long shadows, and vibrant colors. So that is how it understands, okay, this is what the prompt means. So this step is super important because AI doesn't actually see the way we do. It relies on patterns. It has learned to predict what we probably want, right? So the second step is noise injection. Now, here's something surprising. The AI doesn't start with a blank canvas like a human artist would. Instead, it starts with random noise. Like I explained before, if you think of an old TV with that static thing appearing, that's what AI starts with. Then step by step, it begins removing the noise, or that gray and black dots. It keeps removing step by step to reveal an image underneath. So it's kind of like sculpting, where instead of adding clay, the AI is actually carving away the randomness to uncover something, uncover the shape of the image that it's creating. So step by step, you can see what it's trying to generate. The third step is latent space. Now, to make this process more efficient, Stable Diffusion works in what's called a latent space. You can think of a latent space as a compressed version of visual data. You know, you can think of it as a very small square, maybe 1 by 1, okay? And it's like a smaller, more abstract representation of what an image should look like before it's turned into pixels. So instead of directly refining a full resolution image, you know, a big 4x4 image from the start, the AI first looks in this compressed space where patterns and structures are easier to predict. So once the structure is right, it like I said, it clears the white and gray dots. Okay, so it upscales everything into an actually high resolution image. So this is why Stable Diffusion is so efficient compared to other models. It doesn't have to process millions of pixels all at once. Instead, it works on a simplified version first and then fine-tunes the details. So it takes care of the beautification later on. The fourth step is image refinement. So once the AI has cleared out enough noise, the black and white dots, and figured out that the basic shapes and details that it has uncovered, it moves on to the final touches, kind of like how an artist, adds the last few brush strokes to a painting. And at this point, it starts filling in the fine details, like I told you, things like lighting, textures, and little reflections that make the image look real or polished. Right? The image should look real. So that process, the realistic process, happens in the last stage. And finally, it sharpens everything up. So instead of a blurry or a rough image, you get something crisp and clear. You get a high resolution image. Next, so AI generated images aren't just for fun or exploring, to have fun with. They're actually being used in some really practical and game-changing ways across multiple industries. And AI can be fine-tuned for specific use cases, meaning companies can train it on their own data to get results that are way more tailored to what they need. So these are some industries that we will be discussing about. The first is video game development. Now, gaming is one of the biggest industries where AI-generated images are making a huge impact. Now, game development is a super creative process, but it's also time-consuming because designing worlds, characters, and props takes months, sometimes even years. But with AI, studios can speed up this process while still keeping that creative touch. Now, gaming environments, imagine designing an open world game, something like PUBG or Call of Duty, right? So traditionally, artists would have to manually create landscapes, mountains, cities, and even tiny details like street signs or trees. You can think of GTA, but AI can generate these elements in just minutes based on simple descriptions. So for example, if you want a medieval kingdom with castles and rivers, or a futuristic city with some neon lights, you can just describe it and the AI will bring this to life. Then we have character design, especially for NPCs or non-playable characters. Every open world or role-playing game needs hundreds, sometimes even thousands of NPCs to make the world feel alive, right? But AI, not every player is to be used. So AI can help create unique, high-quality portraits for these characters based on different themes. Like you can see in this image, so you can just type in anything you want and it will create a character based on what you have asked for. Now, moving on to weapons and items. This is another area where AI is super useful. Now, think about all the swords, shields, artifacts, and the futuristic guns in a game. You can think of all the AK-47 guns in the Call of Duty and PUBG games. Each one has to look unique and fit the game's theme. Now, every gun you might have noticed have different skins, right? Now, that also gaming companies use AI to text to image to generate those skins. So that was surprising when I found out. And next we have AI in entertainment and animation. Now, traditionally, creating animated characters like comic book heroes, you can think of Superman or whatever, Marvel comics, right? Or storybook illustrations. These things take a lot of time and effort, right? But artists have to, sketch multiple versions and adjust details and refine everything manually until they land on something, yes, I want this. So, but AI is something, AI is changing this game by speeding up the design process and helping creators bring their ideas to life faster. So it's not just using AI as a final tool. They use it for ideas, but they refine it later on in a particular stage to not rely on AI fully. I will mention this later in this presentation. And next is comic and manga character design. So if you're creating a new comic series, every character needs to have a unique look, expression, and personality, right? But instead of drawing dozens of rough sketches, artists can use AI to quickly generate different prototypes. Now, this doesn't replace creativity, just gives artists a head start, like I said, and they can pick the best version and then refine it further to match their artistic vision. Next, we have movie concept art and storyboarding. Now, this is a big deal in filmmaking because before shooting a movie, directors and production teams need to visualize how a scene might look. Now, AI can generate rough concept art for locations, lighting, and even costumes. Now, for Bahubali, or those kinds of movies, they can use AI for to have a rough look of, okay, this is what the set will look like, right? So this can help filmmakers make faster and creative decisions. Then there's AI-generated animated characters. AI can design high-quality 2D or 3D characters that animators can tweak and bring to life. And then we also have children's storybook illustrations. Now, think about how colorful and imaginative storybooks are. Every time as a 20-plus-year-old, when you open a storybook, you see so many colorful things. Now, each page is packed with playful characters and magical worlds. So AI can help generate these illustrations based on simple descriptions. This is the most interesting one. Now this is AI in automotive design. Now, what car designers usually do is, they sketch, refine, and test these designs, which takes a very, very long time, sometimes, years, because coming up with a new car design is quite a complex task because it can't be the same as your previous one, right? So, but now AI is helping designers speed things up and explore new possibilities much faster. The one way AI is helping is with visualizing self-driving car designs. Now, these cars need to integrate a lot of sensors, cameras, radar, and other technologies, right? So the design isn't just about how it looks, but also how all this technology fits in, right? So instead of sketching every idea manually, AI can generate different design options in seconds. So by fine-tuning the AI with real car data, company, if Tata wants to fine-tune AI with their own car designs, they can do that. And companies can make sure that generated designs aren't just futuristic, but the design should also be practical and functional, thinking of all the aerodynamics and all that. So then we have concept cars. Those futuristic cars that companies show off at auto shows, they just seem unrealistic. Now, AI is playing a big role there. If a company wants to explore what cars might look like in 2035 or 2070 or whatever, instead of spending weeks on sketches, they can simply input a description like this one I've given here, and AI will then generate multiple design options that designers can refine and tweak later on. So, and then there's custom luxury interiors. Now, high-end car brands focus a lot on personalization because the final outside-looking part of it is just not enough, right? So different seat materials, custom dashboards, ambient lighting, all that, they comes under the part of personalization. So AI can generate different interior designs based on customer preferences, and showing them how their car could look like before it's even built. So, and also by fine-tuning the model on real interior car designs, companies can make sure that AI understands luxury aesthetics and doesn't just generate random futuristic-looking interiors. The next use case is AI in architecture and interior design. Now, AI is becoming a powerful assistant, helping interior designers, professionals, visualize ideas much faster than before. So instead of spending weeks sketching and modeling, designers can just they can generate highly detailed layouts and 3D concepts in just a few minutes. So So one major use case is real estate staging. When selling a home, listing photos are important, obviously, but empty rooms don't give buyers a real sense of the space. So here, AI can instantly fill those spaces with furniture, decor, and lighting based on design trends or specific client preferences. And by fine-tuning the model on thousands of real estate images, the AI learns to generate highly realistic interiors that match different styles, whether it's modern, minimalist, or traditional. Then there's office and workspace design. Companies are now using AI to create layouts that maximize productivity while keeping the space comfortable. And fine-tuning AI on office blueprints helps generate better work environments. So this is where you can have optimal desk placements, lighting, and seating arrangements. For interior designers, AI can be used to generate custom furniture concepts and suggest personalized home decor. Now, let's say a client wants a minimalist living room with Scandinavian furniture and warm lighting. Instead of searching through endless catalogs, designers can just generate multiple AI-powered variations and refine them based on feedback. Again, fine-tuning the models on specific furniture brands, materials, and lighting setups makes these results even more accurate. And in large-scale architecture, AI assists with housing project visualizations. Urban planners and architects can explore different building layouts, designs, and eco-friendly structures before construction even begins. And when fine-tuned on regional architecture styles and sustainability models, AI can create designs that fit the local environment while also meeting certain efficiency goals. Next, we have in commerce and product marketing, AI is also helping in changing how brands create visuals for their campaigns. Now, businesses would need expensive photo shoots, models, studios, and perfect lighting to get, very customer attracting advertisements, right? But now AI can generate realistic product mockups in seconds, which saves time and costs, while also offering much flexibility because you don't have to spend so much time deciding what has to be done for a traditional advertisement. For example, brands can use AI to create personalized marketing content, which can be tailored to different customer groups. Now, instead of just designing an ad for only one particular size, for one particular size, companies can generate multiple variations, maybe a sleek model style for sleek and modern style for one set of audience, and a warm, cozy aesthetic for another. And again, when you fine-tune the AI on specific branding elements, color palettes, and even customer preferences helps ensure that every image aligns with the company's unique identity. Then there is virtual product mockups. Now, instead of physically manufacturing prototypes for every small design change, businesses can generate AI-powered previews. And let's say a company is launching a new perfume. Now, you can see in this image, rather than setting up a photo shoot that can simply they can just simply type in a prompt, like a high-end perfume ad with a luxury aesthetic and water splashes. This is what you get. I mean, it's as good as a real ad, I think. And by finding, and you can also fine-tune the model again by using the existing product images. So if Louis Vuitton or Chanel want to fine-tune their models, they can use their own products, their products that they have made already, and luxury branding styles, and the AI can generate even more realistic and brand consistent results through this. Fashion brands again are using AI to generate virtual clothing models. And if a company wants to showcase a summer collection dress on a virtual model, they don't need to hire models or set up photo shoots. They can just create high quality AI generated visuals instead. Next, now fashion is all about creativity, but designing new collections takes a lot of time and effort. Now, traditionally, designers start with hand-on sketches, fabric swatches, and mood boards before they even reach the prototyping stage, right? But with AI-powered text-to-image models, the process becomes much faster and more flexible. And AI can be, it already is, but AI can be trained on thousands of fabric patterns, clothing designs, and textures to generate unique fashion concepts. Now, this helps designers explore new ideas without manually sketching each one. So instead of spending hours perfecting a single look, they can just describe their vision in text, and AI will instantly bring that vision to life. Now, this was my work in AI-generated fashion design. And as part of my work, I explored how AI was how AI can assist fashion designers and students by generating realistic fashion images based on text prompts, as you can see from all these examples I've given you. The idea was to see if AI could be a tool for inspiration, obviously not just totally relying on it, but helping designers visualize how outfit combinations, stylistic variations, and unique aesthetics would look like with just a few words. And this is how I landed on Stable Diffusion. I used Glide before, and so, because Stable Diffusion being open source, it gave like surprisingly good results, and I experimented with different prompts to. There is now text to image is easy, but if you want a good image, something that 100% is the same thing as what you have written, then you have to be very detailed in your prompt, and that's why I experimented with different prompts to generate diverse styles of fashion, such as vintage fashion, streetwear, and more, even more. I've given examples of that. And to add to this, by training the AI on brand-specific collections, I can train it on specific Versace, so that the patterns that those brands use could also be used in my text to the image generated from the text here. Okay, so AI in fashion is exciting, but it's not perfect. As you can see from these images here, there's just too much of fluffiness, and even in this image, you can see how some textures don't match, right? So for that, and that is the reason I'm saying it's not perfect, and designers still need to be aware of its limitations. So first, AI lacks true innovation because it doesn't create entirely new ideas. It just learns from existing styles and recombines them. So if you ask AI for a futuristic outfit, it might pull from sci-fi movies or cyberpunk fashion, but will it create something groundbreaking? Probably not. And that's why human creativity is still essential. Second, AI can reflect biases. Now, if it's trained mostly on Western fashion or a specific body type, it might struggle to generate inclusive designs. From these images, you can see I did not give any specific body type, but this is what it generated. So you can see how biased it is. So if these aren't, if there aren't enough examples of plus size fashion or cultural garments like saris or traditional African dresses or kimonos in the training data, AI won't generate them accurately, obviously. So to fix this, we need diverse data sets and ethical AI training. Next, AI generated designs aren't production ready. A dress might look great in an image, but when you examine it closely, the fabric might seem too stiff. Like in this image, it's just, I don't know if you can see, but this is just too stiff. I don't know if this is practical, if this is wearable, right? So, and the proportions also might look off, or the design might feel impractical, like I said. And AI speeds up concept creation, but designers still have to refine and adjust the details again, because if they use the immediate output as their final result, they will be sued. So that's not possible. And finally, they have to refine it. That's what I mean. And finally, copyright issues. AI learns from existing designs, which raises legal concerns. Now, if an AI-generated outfit matches with a luxury brand's collection, like I said, if it matches something of a luxury brand like Versace or Louis Vuitton or whatever, is it inspiration or is it plagiarism? We don't know. So if a designer uses AI to create a fashion line, who owns those designs? Because is it the designer or the AI company? We don't know. And these are still open questions in the industry. So let's just leave it at that. And next, all right, so we have ethics and biases in AI needs to consider ethical. It needs to be, like I said, I mentioned how it was biased, right? So there are certain ethical considerations that AI needs to look up. And because AI is super powerful, it's not perfect, like I said. AI learns from massive data sets, and if that data has biases or gaps, the AI reflects them. And that's why when you type in something like a CEO, now I was really shocked because if you look at this man right here, I was shocked because of two reasons. The first one was that this looks like a real person, very real person. And the second is that when you talk about bias, now because this model was trained on, mostly on male images, you can see this is probably a brown person because most of the CEOs are brown people, Indian people. And you can see how this guy is wearing glasses. So this is totally unacceptable, right? And when you type in a nurse, you'll likely see a woman. Like here, I just wanted to test it, and this is what I got. So I was shocked, and the AI might. So this is how bias exists. How bias exists in text-to-image models, and so it's not about. No, the AI is not actually biased. It's just repeating patterns it has seen over and over. So you cannot just, like I said, it was trained on, if it is a CEO, it was trained on a lot of male images, and if it was a nurse, it was trained on a lot of female related images. So this is not just about gender. AI has also been known to misrepresent ethnicities. Now, cultural clothing, and even now when I typed in a sari, it really did not know what a sari was, so that was not really good. But now there are certain cases that some companies have faced due to this, and a great example of this is Adobe Firefly, which faced criticism for generating mostly light-skinned people, or how Mid-Journey and Stable Diffusion struggled with representing diversity in leadership roles. And then there's the issue of copyright. AI models are trained on existing artwork and designs. So sometimes without permission, so if sometimes, they're trained on artwork and designs, sometimes without permission. So if it is using Da Vinci's work, there are chances that it was not taken, the permission was not taken from the certain entity, from the entity that owns that particular product. So if AI generates something that looks too similar to a copyrighted piece, who owns it? Is it the person who typed the prompt, the AI, or the original artist? That's still a huge debate. So how do we fix this? One big step is training, like I said, training AI on more diverse data sets. So if AI learns from a broader range of examples, it won't default to stereotypes. So some platforms are using, they're introducing diversity controls. So users can choose how representative their images should be. Okay, so you actually have options for that. And as users, we can help to, like I said, the way we write our prompts, it reflects on what the output is, right? So instead of just typing a CEO, adding details like ethnicity, gender, or industry helps create more balanced results. And at the end of the day, AI is just a tool. So if we refine the way it's trained and used, we can make it more inclusive, fair, and ethical, obviously. So next is AI-generated originality and creativity in AI art. Now, the art generated by AI is fascinating, but it comes with originality and creativity issues. So yes, it can create stunning visuals, but at its core, it's still relying on existing data. So which raises the question, is it truly original or just remixing what's already out there? So we don't really know if the work generated is original. Now, one challenge with AI art is that it can sometimes feel repetitive. So if the training data isn't diverse enough, you'll start noticing similar looking outputs. So and unlike human artists, AI lacks personal experience and emotion. So the creations don't carry the same depth of meaning. So if an artist is making something out of his own emotions or whatever, that AI cannot do that, right? But that doesn't mean AI isn't useful. In fact, it is a great tool for brainstorming and prototyping only. So designers use AI to quickly generate concepts, which can then be refined manually, right? So it is not 100% AI generated work. And businesses are also leveraging AI for personalized branding and marketing content, which is making AI a powerful creative assistant. It should only be a creative assistant, not the creator, right? Now, this is one of the case studies I wanted to talk about. So Nike's Air project is a perfect example of how AI can be a powerful design tool without replacing human creativity. So this initiative, Air, which is short for Athlete Imagined Revolution, this was all about creating sneakers, as you can see in these images, that weren't just visually striking, but deeply personalized for athletes. So the process here actually started with in-depth interviews with 13 athletes from different sports like track, football, basketball, and even tennis. You can even see some famous names here, Kylian Mbappe, and a few more from this. I'm not aware of those names. So the process, that is how it started. And they shared details in the interview. They shared details about their personal style, performance needs, and even the emotions they wanted their shoes to reflect. So it's not just about what the shoes look like, also about what it was also about what they reflect and what they mean to the athletes. So instead of just using AI to generate random designs, Nike fed these detailed inputs directly into the AI, the text image model that they built, which allowed it to create mood boards. Now, mood boards are like a collection of creatives, okay? And there are multiple mood boards which companies create before they arrive on the final one. And now all these mood boards were aligned with each athlete's vision before they landed on the final product, final piece. Okay, so from there, after the image, which was created from text to image AI model, Nike's computational designers stepped in and they used mathematical algorithms and 3D design tools to refine and develop the AI generated concepts into realistic, you can see how, I've actually left a link over here where you can see what those shoes really looked like in a 3D vision. They actually presented all these sneakers, all these 3D models in a fair actually. So you can just go through this website for more information. So what I'm trying to say is that, how Nike used text to image AI in the beginning, and after that their designers took over. So it was not fully AI generated, right? Next case study is text to image at IKEA. Now, IKEA makes furnitures and other homely stuff, right? Now, what if we could bring back the charm of vintage IKEA designs, but recreate them using the vision of artificial intelligence? Now, this is what IKEA's research and design lab called Space 10 did in one of their latest projects. Now, working alongside video journalist Joss Fong and designer, I think his name was Aaron Filkey. So they worked on AI as a creative partner to breathe new life into classic IKEA furniture design. So what they really did was they feeded the AI, the text image model, with IKEA catalog images from the 1970s and 1980s. Now this helped the AI understand the design trends of that time. So their text image model basically learned the designs of that time period. So things like fabrics, textured fabrics, gold patterns, and natural materials is what the AI learned. And from there, AI was able to generate new furniture concepts, as you can see in these images. Now these, as you can understand, how they look a bit vintage, right? Now this is how AI helped IKEA. Another case study is Coca-Cola's Create Real Magic campaign, which is another perfect example of how text-to-image AI can shake up marketing in a really exciting way. So they teamed up with OpenAI to build a platform where digital artists, now they were not paid, it was just a competition. So they participated, and these people were given access to Coca-Cola's archives, and these artists were asked to use AI tools like GPT-4 and DALL-E to come up with their own unique designs. So now what did the winners get? Now their creations did not just sit online, they were actually displayed on huge digital billboards in Times Square and Piccadilly Circus, which gave them massive exposure. Now this is funny because this way Coca-Cola also engaged their customers while also marketing their brand, right? Now, this is really a very cool case study. Future trends in AI creativity. Now, in the coming years, AI is set to push the boundaries of creativity in ways we have only started to look at how AI is working, right? So from now on, it's just going to get better. I don't know if I can call it better, but from music and art to film and storytelling, AI-powered tools are really evolving very fast and making creative processes more efficient, accessible, and even more imaginative. So the AI generates something new you might not even have thought of, right? So one of the biggest shifts we'll see in AI is the music and art industry. So AI models are becoming more advanced, which will be capable of composing original music tracks, arranging melodies, and even experimenting with new art styles. So singers will probably use AI in their work. And again, this is just brainstorming ideas. Uh, that's one example. And AI-powered design applications are another game changer. So these tools are uh, now the designs and animations are getting better, like we saw with the Stable Diffusion itself. uh, Now this will completely transform how brands and creators tell their stories. It's not just an ad anymore, it's more personal now. So we're looking at a future where brands won't just create ads, they'll be able to generate immersive AI driven visual experiences that connect with audiences on a personal level. And then there's storytelling again. Now the script writing tools are already helping writers. It's already there to develop characters, plot twists, and even dialogue. So this is where storytelling can make use of AI as an assistant only, again, for offering new directions, filling in gaps, or speeding up the writing process. Now here I have mentioned a couple free open source tools that you can explore. For Stable Diffusion, the link given here, you just have to go to the website, type in your prompt, and from the styles given in that particular website, you can just choose whatever you want, or you can just let it be. And then you can just click on generate, which will give you an image right there. So you can try and explore this. You can also train the model on your own data set. For that, you just have to download the model weights and feed your images and textual descriptions to the model. And another free tool I mentioned here is the Bing Image Creator, which is owned by Microsoft. So this model generates images using DALL-E 3. So the only limitation here is that you cannot fine tune it. It's just for creating images right there. Okay, and there's a particular limit. So if you cross that, you will have to pay for the subscription. And another model I have given here is a small filtered glide model. Now, like I told you, glide is a paid subscription based model, but they have released a small version of their model, which means that the data that it was trained on is very, very less. So the reason I did not show images for this here is that it was not even worth mentioning. So if you know, if you've used Google Colab, you can try it out, but you won't be very impressed. So yep. Thank you. I hope you found this insightful, and I was given a particular time period, and I think I went too far. So with this, I'm ending it. Thank you.
Thank you, Kirti. Thank you, Ms. Kirti, for your thoughts about artificial intelligence driven creativity. And it was an enlightening session where, we are all spellbound. And now it's time to have an interaction. So as a part of this interactive session, we have a Q&A segment. And first we are going to project the questions that are consolidated from the registration form. Kirti, here are the questions. You can go through the questions and answer them one by one.
Okay, so can you explain some case study? I think I already mentioned 3 in my a very long presentation, so I think that should do. And second one is how AI is useful in research in 21st century. Okay, now in academia, as of what I know, in academia, AI is already helping researchers by summarizing papers. You might have already used that, I think, and spotting patterns in huge data sets, and even assisting in hypothesis generation, which is like the first step of starting with a research process, right? So instead of spending hours manually analyzing data, researchers can get insights almost very instantly, right? And in scientific fields, AI is, I think, speeding up breakthrough in drug discovery. I haven't heard of anything, I haven't heard of a real life example, but I have read somewhere that drug discovery, they used AI there. So that is one example. Then climate modeling and genomics. Now, in scientific fields, it can analyze complex patterns, so in ways that humans would take years to process. So that's where AI is being used. And even in creative industries, AI is helping designers, like I already told you, fashion designers, artists, and media creators. They explore new techniques, generate prototypes, and enhance production quality using AI. And I think the best advantage is that AI takes over the repetitive tasks. Since this is research, you cannot just get everything done from AI. So for whatever repetitive tasks that you have, time-consuming tasks that you have, for that, researchers can use AI and focus on the real innovation that they have to do. Third one is how to use AI properly. I think the ethical considerations part covered that, but to sum up, you have to be mindful of data sources, make sure that AI models that you are using are trained on ethical data sets. It shouldn't just use data from data sources that they haven't taken permission from. So this should be done to avoid bias and plagiarism, obviously. And second, to fine-tune AI for specific needs. Instead of just accepting default prompts, you can fine-tune it, which will, give you a more personalized form of output based on what you want. So customizing AI makes sure that it aligns with your goals, like I said. And you can also use AI to handle repetitive tasks, like I mentioned before. So, but always, remember to bring in human creativity to add originality and depth, because AI can only speed things up. And, for the final touch, just remember, it should always be yours. So that's how AI should be, I think, should be properly used. If possible, some highlights on one local language tips. Okay. I don't know, but if you are referring to multilingual text to image models, the one I'm aware of is the Bing Image Creator, which I've given the link for. So, this belongs to Microsoft, right? So they have a pretty good translator. So I tried a couple of easy prompts in Tamil and Hindi. So it actually worked. So as I mentioned before, it is free to use. So please check it out. This is the only one I'm aware of. So I hope.
What I want to know is that if you could use some text in local language, will it translate in English and then convert to your image, or some other methods are there?
Multilingual. Good evening, ma'am. First, what multilingual text-to-image models do is that you can type in your prompt in whatever language you want. And for example, Bing Image Creator, Microsoft uses their translator to convert the prompt from in the language that you gave to the English language, and then it generates images. So that's what it does.
That intervention is from my side or the AI to do it? The translation.
AI does the translation, and it is completely open source. So if you want to experiment with it, you can try it out.
Just out of curiosity, I asked because with Google translation and other things, sometimes the meaning itself gets changed if you do it in local language.
Oh, ma'am, this model, I did try it out myself in regional languages, and it did perform well. And this is the only
topic which you try it, to some it's a research topic also.
Yes, ma'am. I will look into more models, and I will let you know. And next one is list of available free and efficient resources for generating image using text. Like I already said, I already mentioned, in terms of efficiency, I think the best ones, in my opinion, are Stable Diffusion, Bing Image Creator, and Flux. Now, Flux, I haven't explored it yet because it's new, and I've read that it is quite efficient, and it's also open source. So I wish to explore it sometime soon. So Stable Diffusion, Bing Image Creator, and Flux. And needed AI tools to easily incorporate the learning. If you're looking for open source AI tools that make learning and implementation easier, then I think for image generation, you can use the tools that I mentioned before already. And for data analysis, you can use Pandas AI, which is AI-powered extension for Pandas. So whenever you're building ML models, or if you want to explore your data, you can use Pandas AI there. And for learning and implementation, you can use Google Colab. It provides free cloud-based notebook for running AI and ML models without setup. So you don't have to do much of setting up over there. And then for text and language processing, I think you can use Hugging Face transformers because it has pre-trained NLP models for tasks like text generation, summarization, and chatbots. Obviously, a lot of chatbots you can make using open source tools from Hugging Face. Use like Llama and stuff. So, and also you can use Haystack, which is an open source RAG framework for building. If you want to build a question answering system, you can use Haystack. I hope this helps. Thank you. I hope I've answered all the questions.
Thank you, Shrutkirti. Now it's time to hear from the participants. Apart from the list of questions that are projected on the screen, if anybody has got any questions, you can ask now. Either you can unmute and ask, or you can post it in the chat window.
Hello, Kirti. I'm Dr. Karpagvalli.
Good evening, ma'am.
I have only two questions. One is you were talking about top brands like Louis Vuitton, Chanel, and Versace. And is there any ethical issues like using those designs because they are top brands? How we can use their designs while training the model? Any ethical issues are there? Anything to be considered while taking those models for training our model? And another, okay.
Yes, ma'am. I'll just answer your first question. So there is this particular act. There are laws that protect companies from their designs being used, right? So if I use Louis Vuitton's or any luxury brands designs, I will be sued. So like I said, the only ethical consideration here is that you can use AI here for like % of the image. You can use it for an idea, but make sure to make changes because certain luxury brands like Versace and I think Versace, Louis Vuitton, Gucci, they all have certain designs on their clothes. They're printed all over their like they have trademark designs. So that should not be used. Only designs without their trademark name designs, I think that would work. But also human creativity has to be a part of that designing process. So yes, ma'am.
Okay, you have designed a model. How do you measure the performance of the model? Is there any metrics, performance metrics are there? Measuring scale is there? How well the model is trained?
Ma'am, the only two metrics I have used are PSNR, which basically just measures the yes, ma'am. So it measures the quality of the image. So if the stable diffusion models gives an image as an output, this PSNR it examines how well the resolution of the image is, whether it is clear. That is one of the metrics I've used. And another one I used is mean opinion score. Now, what I did was, for every design that I generated using the model, I got a feedback from 50 users. I had this rating scale from 1 to 5. So all these 50 users, they rated the design, and based on that rating, I was able to understand, okay, how well this image is or how well this design is. So these are the two metrics that I used.
Okay. But there are many metrics to measure this kind of image generation models.
Yes, ma'am. Like a lot.
Okay.
But I use only two, ma'am. I'll make sure to use more.
Okay. It was an excellent presentation. Congratulations.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay.
If anybody has got questions, you can ask now. Otherwise, we'll move on to the next segment of this session.
I have one question, sir.
Yes, Karna.
Yeah. Can we get these models from the Hugging Face kind of platforms, or we have to build the model from scratch?
You don't have to. No, you don't have to do that. Actually, Stable Diffusion, their model weights are already available on Stability AI's platform. And if you just type in Stable Diffusion model base, you'll get it from Stable Diffusion's. Like, the first thing that will show up is Stable Diffusion's website, where they will have an option from which you can download the models, and from there you can just train your model from there. So you don't have, Hugging Face does not have Stable Diffusion. You have to download it from Stable Diffusion's website.
Yeah.
Or Stability AI's website.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kirti. If there are no other questions, then we can move on to the next segment. The next segment is about announcements. In order to make announcements, I invite our chairman. Sir.
Thank you. We hope you found today's webinar both insightful and enriching, all of you. Before continuing with the announcement, I would like to convey my heartfelt thank you to Ms. Shruth Kirti for demystifying the magic behind AI-generated art and its real-world applications, starting from Nike's sneaker designs to IKEA's vintage-inspired furniture. Your insights illuminated how AI can be both a tool and a collaborator, sparking ideas that will resonate far beyond today. Special thanks to my good friend and MCA classmate, Dr. Lata Parameshwaran, Professor and Director at PLGR Krishnamal College for Women, for recommending our excellent speaker today. Building on our speaker's excellent points, we must emphasize that in text-to-image generation, every keyword matters tremendously. The precision of our language directly determines the quality of outputs, where carefully chosen words can unlock stunning results, while vague phrasing may lead to disappointing outcomes. The term GIGO is coming to my mind. I hope most of you are aware. GIGO means garbage in, garbage out. It means that AI's output is only as good as its input. Bad data is bad result. This is crucial for AI accuracy, fairness, and reliability, especially in areas like image generation, where flawed prompts or training data will lead to flawed outputs as well. And I'm also able to recollect Amazon's AI hiring bias. I just want to take a few more minutes to share this. Amazon's AI recruitment tool in 2018 unintentionally discriminated against women when screening resumes for technical roles. This particular AI tool was trained on 10 years of resume, mostly from men in technology. I mean, I'm talking about 2018, long back. So what happened is AI downgraded female applicants, reinforcing gender bias. Amazon scrapped the tool after failing to fix it. The lessons learned is, AI reflects real-world biases. Diverse data and human oversight are very much critical. So similar risks also exist in text-to-image AI, maybe generating only male CEOs, etc. So let's harness these powerful insights to develop solutions that not only captivate audiences, but also create meaningful, positive impact in our respective fields. Now, I would like to share some of the exciting initiatives Computer Center of India Coimbatore chapter has in store for you. Our core mission is knowledge sharing and skill development. To that end, we are dedicated to bringing you regular, impactful learning opportunities. As many of you know, we aim to host at least 2 knowledge sharing sessions each month featuring esteemed experts from academia and industry, as well as passionate emerging talents like Ms. Srutkirti. This financial year 2024-25, we have organized an impressive 30 events, including today's webinar, all designed to empower our community with essential knowledge and skills. We have covered a diverse range of cutting-edge topics, including cloud computing, cyber forensics, AI/ML concepts, digital footprint protection, Gen AI, entrepreneurship, SaaS, design thinking, blockchain, digital classrooms, responsible AI governance, and much more. We have explored real-world AI applications, addressed critical cybersecurity concerns for seniors, and also delved into emerging concepts like dark patterns and deep learning. We are deeply committed to inclusivity. This year, we have proudly conducted 2 impactful sessions specifically tailored for the differently abled, reinforcing our belief that technology should be a powerful tool accessible to everyone. With the new team stepping in for the next financial year, we anticipate even more dynamic sessions and initiatives. Thank you all once again for your time, energy, and passion. We eagerly anticipate your participation in our future events. Have a great evening. Signing off with inspiration, Saravana Kumar, Chairman, Computer Center of India, Coimbatore chapter. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now I invite our Secretary, Dr. E.K. Girisan, who is the Associate Professor and Head, Department of Computer Technology, Sri Krishna Aditya College of Arts and Science, Coimbatore, to propose vote of thanks. Sir.
Thank you, Maharajan. On behalf of the Computer Society of India, Coimbatore chapter, someone is unmuted, I think.
Ms. Nadia, please mute yourself. Sorry, you can.
Thank you. On behalf of the Computer Society of India, Coimbatore chapter, I am here to propose the vote of thanks for today's webinar on AI-driven creativity, text-to-image for innovation. The webinar was well presented by Sukriti, the MSc student of PSGR Krishnamal College. Thank you, Sukriti, for your meticulous preparation and explanation on the various facets of AI-driven tools for the creativity. Your explanation was with the suitable examples has opened our minds and given us more insights into the various AI-driven tools for text-to-image. Our appreciation to you and congratulations to you, and also thank you for accepting our invitation and delivering the wonderful webinar. Today we had around 76 participants at the peak, and around 60 were always active throughout the hour. We also thank all the participants who took their time, which included the professors, AI practitioners, and students from various colleges who had spent your time in attending this webinar. We always expect your earnest participation in all our future endeavors. Thank you all, and thanks to those who raised the questions. And once again, thanks to Sukriti for answering those questions. My thanks to our office admin staff, Mr. Durvesh, for rendering his coordination, Dr. K.S. Maharasan, our MC member, for moderating this webinar, our chairman, Mr. Saravana Kumar, for the welcome address and the announcements which were made. I once again thank you all for this opportunity and best wishes for taking away the key points from this webinar. Computer Society of India Coimbatore chapter will always be there in the forefront in disseminating the information on the latest technological advancements in the field of IT. Thank you all, and a very good night to each one of you, and see you in our next event.
And with this, we come to an end of this session. I thank all of you for your active participation, and I thank the team CSI Coimbatore chapter for giving me an opportunity to coordinate this event. I am Maharasan KS signing off. Thank you.